Okay, hi everyone. If you just got to pop up on your screen, you could just click on OK if it asks you. Um, but I want to welcome everyone to our second class of our 2021 to 2022 semester. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope everyone is doing well. We have a very interesting class prepared for today. It's a relatively new class that we've developed recently, and we hope that you are going to get a lot out of it. Before we get started, I always just like to state our mission statement, which is that it's the responsibility of the younger generation to educate seniors about technology. The goal of our program is to cure the issue of social isolation within senior communities and to help seniors feel connected in the new world of technology. Our personalized classes strive to educate seniors on how to communicate with friends and family in the manner in which the world is accustomed to today, and how to use technological tools to enhance and simplify their daily lives. And we are very proud of our metrics. Over the past year or so, we've educated over 2,000 seniors in 10 different countries, and we hope to continue offering classes to all of you. I'm going to put this screen up again at the end of the class today. But if you are interested in taking more classes with us, or this is your first time taking a class, or you want to share our class information with someone who you think can benefit from our free programming, please share with them the information here. We have our social media platforms, our YouTube channel with recordings of all our classes, our website. We have our portal, which has our two most popular classes accessible on a recorded format, and our WhatsApp chat, and then my email. I'll put this up at the end of the class today. So if you're trying to get it down in the next 2 seconds, no need. I'll put it up at the end of the class today. And all of you, I hope, are on the email list or WhatsApp chat. So you'll be receiving messages from me about upcoming programs as well. Okay. So what are we going to be doing today? We're going to be doing about 3 or 4 things today. The first kind of category is called ride sharing. And you shouldn't really get confused with ride sharing as in you're sharing a ride with someone, because that's not exactly what it means. And we're going to be talking about 2 specific programs that kind of relate to that. So we have Uber, which is one of the most popular ride sharing platforms out there. We have a website called Expedia, which I'm not sure if you are familiar with. Maybe you have seen it, heard of it. It's basically a website that allows you to book trips and packages of trips online. And then at the end, we're going to be looking at a program called Google Maps, which allows you to find directions to certain places. It's a very convenient way to see where places are, how far are they from where you are. We're going to be speaking about all this at the end of the class today. All right, so let me set the stage here. What is ride sharing? So like I said, it's not exactly what it sounds like, where you're sharing a ride with someone, but rather you are riding in someone else's car, who is basically hired by a company to offer this sort of driving service. So think about a taxi cab. If someone is hired to become a taxi driver, they are given a car to use. And they pick people up, and you raise your hand and you get in the car, you pay the driver, and then you leave. Ride sharing is the same concept, but it's basically a newer version of that, and it's where the world is going in terms of transportation. So what this means is, using your smartphone, you are able to basically hail a car using any of the platforms that are currently out there, and I'm going to mention now the 3 most popular, but you could do this on any sort of short notice. You don't need to 2 weeks in advance know I am going to be driving from location A to location B, and therefore I need to book this trip so that the car comes at this time. These platforms are done right on the spot. You could be leaving a location. I want a car. There are no cabs here, or maybe cabs are a little more expensive. I'm going to order a car service. So the 3 most popular services are Uber, Via, and Lyft. They all pretty much do the same thing. There are some slight differences. I'll point out one of the biggest is that Via is a platform that is a car service that is more like a shuttle. So Via is cheaper than the other 2 platforms, but there might be other people in the car at the same time that you are making your trip. But it's all planned out with a certain way. So for example, if you're going to 80th Street and you're on 60th and someone is also trying to get to 70th Street, they might be in the car because you could drop them off on the way. So that there's basically an algorithm behind these platforms that kind of pair you up with the closest driver and the trip that will be the shortest for you. We're going to be speaking today solely about Uber, but the other programs are very similar in terms of how you set them up and how you use their platform. So don't worry if you're a big Lyft user, the process should be very similar. Okay, so just as always, before we get into how to actually use Uber as our platform for today, there are a couple advantages that I just want to mention so that you're all aware. Maybe you're thinking in your head, I love taxis. I love using my own car. Why should I use ride sharing? What is the benefits of using a program like this? And I'm going to pass it over to Sophia to tell you guys some of these advantages.
Yeah, so hi everybody. Right now I'm just going to skim through some that we've pulled as what we see as advantages of these apps, and then Julia will get into details in a minute. But first up is that you can schedule trips in advance. So it can either be a short-term call for a car, or maybe 3 days into the future, you need to go to the airport. You can use these apps to schedule a trip in advance. Next is that payments are done virtually. So instead of being in the car and trying to get out cash or dealing with cash or card in person whatsoever, these payments are done virtually. So we'll show you, you put a credit card into the app, and then from there, you're good to go. Oftentimes, rideshare apps are cheaper than a taxi, so that's another advantage. And of course, where this is not your car, you have no parking, they'll pick you up, drop you off, and you don't have to deal with any parking or anything of the matter. For your safety on these apps, drivers are rated. So if you have a really bad experience with a driver, you can leave a review, and then the company, Uber or Lyft, would know. But the odds are, where these drivers are rated already, that's skimmed down for your safety and ensuring that you're with a safe driver. The price is stated before you call the car, so that in the moment there's no question. You do that before you even call and pay. And then if you're riding with friends or family, you can, in the app, split the fare to where it's done then and there, and the app makes it easy. We can show you in a few moments as well. And also on the app, real time, you can track how close the car is to you, as well as once you're in the car, how long in the trip there is left.
Perfect. Thank you, Sophia. Just a few more things. When Sophia said the price is stated before you call the car, if there's crazy traffic or there's a big snowstorm or whatever there is, your price is not changing. Versus if you're in a taxi cab and it's done by a meter, as you are in the car longer, your price keeps going up. So a nice thing about Uber and these ride-sharing platforms is that when you hit the pay button, you know what your price will be, and that's not changing. So that's definitely a form of comfort. Also, the whole thing about drivers being rated, if drivers get bad ratings, they could be fired, meaning that you should feel comfortable going into a car with these drivers that have they're working for this company. This is their job, and they've gone through tons of tests to make sure that they're verified and all that. So I wouldn't be worried about any sort of bad experience with the driver, but you always have that option, as Sophia said, to rate the driver poorly, and that actually will have an impact on their future at Uber. All right, so let's get into specifics here. Like I said, there are many other programs that offer ride sharing. We mentioned 3 of them today. Uber is what we're going to be focusing on because it does seem to be the most popular and also the easiest to use. So we are going to be looking at Uber today. And like I said before, Uber is this ride sharing app. You can call an Uber using your smartphone. And like I said, you agree to the fee before. This is just giving kind of a brief bio of the process, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Everything is very simple, and everything's done electronically. So no need to have cash for an Uber ride. Even the tip is done virtually. Everything's done fully on your smartphone. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen share my phone, and we're not going to take you from the beginning to the end of how to get Uber on your phone, how to use it, and what you can do with it. Okay. Okay, so many of you who have taken classes with us before know that when you want to download an app not made by the phone itself, so not Messages, which is made by Apple, or Mail, which is made by Apple, none of these programs, you want to download what's called a third-party app. You need to go to the App Store. On a Android, it's called the Google Play Store. This is where you would download any app. If you have Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp on your phone, or Netflix, any of these apps are third-party apps. So you have at some point used this App Store or Google Play Store before. On the iPhone, it looks like a little blue A. On the Android, it's like a green icon that looks similar. It says Google Play Store right below it. If I click on the App Store, you'll see how it will give me this panel here. You want to go to the search button, the little magnifying glass all the way at the bottom right. And I'm going to type in Uber. If you wanted to download Lyft or Via, just you could type in that as well. You might see an advertisement or so at the top, but you're looking for where it says Uber. Do not download the option that says Uber Driver. This is what your driver uses as his form of using Uber, but you want to download the first one. It says Uber, it says Request A. Right now mine says Open because I already have this app downloaded, but if you did not, it would say the word Get, where you can click on it and it will begin to download to your phone. It might ask for your Touch ID or your Face ID or your password, depending on what phone you have. I'm assuming everyone has that information. You could always reset it if you need to, but make sure to download the app from here, and make sure you're not downloading the Uber Driver one, but you're downloading the one that says just Uber, Uber Request A, that's what it should say. When it downloads to your phone, it will typically be placed towards the end of the screen. So you could scroll all the way to the end. For me, you'll see it's over here. It's an icon. It's very clear what it is. It says Uber right down the middle. It's a black icon. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. When you first open Uber, you'll see something that looks like this. You want to click on Get Started, the button at the bottom of the screen. You'll be asked to put in your phone number. For me, I already have an Uber account. So when I put in my phone number, it will actually identify me as an existing user. But for those of you who this is your first time using Uber, when you put in your smartphone, it will actually allow you to put in some fields that Uber needs in order to have you start using the platform. So I'm going to put in my phone number here, and I'll click on Next. It might ask for some sort of verification code, which will be sent to my phone number. I just got the message, 9103. I'm going to put that in. And it will say all set. It will welcome me. But because I already have Uber before, the process was a little simpler. If you are a new user, it might ask you some basic questions like, what's your name? What's your email address? What payment method would you like to use for Uber? And you could put in a credit card, a debit card, a PayPal, any sort of payment method you want to use. In terms of safety, Uber is extremely safe, so you shouldn't worry about online safety in this department. But just like when we looked at online shopping last month, Amazon, Fresh Direct, these big, well-known websites are nothing to really be worried about in terms of safety. So you definitely need to put in some sort of payment method so that Uber could charge you when you order a ride. Okay, so now we're looking at the Uber homepage per se, where you'll see that there are a ton of options here. You'll see Julie is going to talk about in a second the ride option, but there are some others. There's something called Uber Eats, which we're not going to talk about, but that's a way to order food online. It looks like there's a way to have the Uber pick up groceries for you. There are some other options. We're going to be focusing today on the ride one. And you'll also see at the bottom, there are some of your most recent trips that you'll see. So if you do, for example, you go to your office every day using Uber, as opposed to having to type that in every time. You'll see that at the bottom of your screen because Uber identifies as this is a recurring trip for you. But now what we're going to do, I'm going to pass over to Julia, is to show you how to use Uber to book a ride and also take you through the steps until you complete the ride and you arrive at your destination. Okay.
Okay, so to order an Uber, the first thing that you're going to do is click on that where to button. And that is going to allow you to type in the address of where you want to go. So if you click on that little button, you can see that it now has on top your current location. So that's where it's planning on picking you up. And then below it, it has the where to. So if you don't want to be picked up from your current location, then you're going to need to change that address on top. So you can see that right now, it has Jordan's current location, but if he wants to change it, he clicked on it and it selected it, and he can now type in a new address. And that is where it would then pick him up. So the top one is where it's going to pick you up. And then below that is where you want to be dropped off. So you could type in another address of where you want to go to. You can see that below it are the recent places that Jordan has visited. So if he types in an address, this is where he's going to be dropped off. This is where he wants the Uber to take him. And he would click on the one that he wants. And you can see that now it's giving him a bunch of different options for Uber. So the top one, Uber X, is the like the basic Uber. And then below it, Uber XL, that's for like a bigger car. If you have more people that you want to take, you can see it's a little more expensive. And there's a bunch of different options for Uber, but most people just use the top one, Uber X. So if Jordan wanted to book this ride, he would press confirm Uber X. You could see that the car is 5 minutes away. So that's how long the car would take to arrive where it's going to pick you up. And then once it picks you up, you could see that it says that it's at 11:58 a.m. So that is when you would probably be dropped off at your next place. So if he wanted to book this ride, he would press confirm Uber X, and he would then wait around 5 minutes for the Uber to come. So we're not going to go through booking this Uber on the app because that costs money, but we did take screenshots of a previous ride. So you can see that here we booked a ride, and there's a bunch of different things that I'm going to show you on this screenshot. So the first, once you book the ride, you could see how far away your car is. You're waiting for it to come pick you up. You could see the location of the car, and it says that it's 4 minutes away. So you're waiting for the car to come pick you up, and it says where you're going to meet the car, that it's 4 minutes away. You can see below it the license plate of the car. So before you get into any Uber, you should double check that it's, first of all, the right type of car. It says right here, a black Toyota Camry, and it also says the license plate. So you should double check that it's the correct car that you're getting into. You could also see the name of the driver, a little picture of him, his rating. So you can see that he has 4.97 stars. So that's pretty high rating. And then you could also like add any notes or call your driver if you have any issues. If you can't meet him and you're waiting, let's say the Uber says it's there, but you don't see it anywhere, you can call your driver to make like specific plans and meet up with him. And if you scroll down on this page a little further, you can see where it's planning on dropping you off. So that's the address of drop off, what time it's planning on dropping you off. If you wanted to change it or edit the location, or even add another stop, you could click on that blue add or change button to add another stop to your Uber or change the final address. You could see the price and the card that you used. Let's say you wanted to switch your credit card, you could press on that switch button and it would change the payment method. And then if you're riding with someone, we're going to go more into detail about this later, but you would click on that split fare button. So let's say there's 3 people in the car and you all wanted to split the ride, you would click on that button to split the ride. And so that would split the payment and you wouldn't have to all pay. Only one person wouldn't have to pay, you would all share the money. And then let's say you accidentally booked an Uber and you wanted to cancel it, you would press that cancel button on the bottom and it would cancel your ride. So you can see here when the driver arrives, oftentimes they'll send you a message that says I've arrived, and then you can go outside and look for the car, check the license plate, and then get into the car. You can see here, it says that he's arrived. So that means that the car is ready to come pick you up. So once you get in the car, it no longer shows the driver coming to you. It now shows you in the car with the driver and your route to the place. So you see it says it's heading to that destination, and it shows you in that little map the route that the car is going to take to get to that final destination. And in that blue box, it tells you the time that you're planning on arriving at that place. So these are the same, you still have those same options while you're in the car. If you wanted to add or change a stop while you're in the car, or if you wanted to rate your driver, tip him, or switch the credit card or split the fare, you could still do all of those things while you're in the car. So here's the split fare option that I was talking about. Let's say you have multiple people in the car and it's an expensive Uber ride. You all want to split the fare. You're able to do that by either scrolling through your contacts and clicking on the people that you want to split it with, or an easier way is just to search for their name. As long as the person who you want to split it with, you either have their phone number or they're already saved in your contacts, you would just type them into that little search bar on top, and then you would click OK, and it would split the fare between all the people that you typed in. They're going to get a little notification on their phone like, Jordan wants to split a ride with you, and they would need to accept it. And then you guys will split the ride. And you can see on the bottom, it says that each rider will be charged a 25-cent fare split fee. So if you split the fare, each person has to pay a little bit more money for the for splitting the fare.
All right, thank you, Julia. So as you can see, the process is pretty simple, and Uber makes the process simple by giving you all these options directly at your fingertips. Just a couple more things I'll mention. When you're putting in the address of where you want to go or where you want to be dropped off, the most common locations, you don't really need to know the address. You can just put in the name. So as you can see, when I was doing this, I put in like Ramaz, or I put in Central Park. These are known in the Uber app. So if you're like, I don't remember that person's home address, but I know he's right next to Dwayne Reed or something like that, you could just put in the name of the store and it will actually identify that as the location. So it's okay if you don't remember exactly where someone lives, but you just know some sort of pinpoint stop around the location. You could put that in as well. I think that was it for this. The whole idea about calling your Uber driver and adding pickup notes, that typically isn't used that often. It's more like the Uber says that the driver's here, you're standing in the right spot, I don't see the car. In that sort of scenario, you'll call your driver, say, hi, I'm standing at the stop, where are you? And the calling the Uber driver isn't like an annoying thing to do. This is something that is done if anything goes wrong. And you also have to understand that although it might say 4 minutes, it might take a little bit longer than that. Although it might say that you'll arrive at 7:47, maybe you'll arrive at 7:50, meaning these times are given to you as estimates, but you're in a car, there will be traffic, there will be stop signs, there will be lights. So if you have to get somewhere by a certain time, make sure you give yourself enough time to order the Uber and also to make the trip. Don't kind of guarantee that you'll arrive at the exact time that it says on the screen. And Julie also mentioned the whole split fare thing. This does charge that 0.25-cent fare split fee. So something that we'll actually get into in a couple weeks. There's a program called Venmo that allows you to transfer money from one person to another. You might want to use that program, which doesn't have any fee split, and just have someone pay for the entire Uber and then Venmo them their share of the money. This is something that we haven't covered yet this semester, but something that we will in future weeks. But if 25 cents is not a problem for you, this is the most convenient way to take the full price of an Uber and divide it equally among a couple or 3 or 4 people. In Uber X's, as Julia said, Uber X is the baseline for ordering a car service. There are many other options, Uber Black, Uber XL, depending on how many people you are. Uber X typically has 3 to 4 people because you have the driver and you have it's a 5-seat, there are 5 seats in the car. And also important to note now, because of the pandemic, everyone's required to wear masks inside the car. Something you should also keep aware of. So when you're going on a trip, make sure to carry around a mask with you. Okay, if there are any questions on anything we discussed so far regarding Uber, feel free to place them into the chat. or you could raise your hand virtually. I might be able to take 1 or 2 questions, but I do want to get to our next topic. I also want to point out that this class, along with all our classes, are recorded. So if there are certain pieces of the class that you want to review at a later date, we'll be sending you a link to the recording following today's class. So you'll have access to this and you'll be able to rewatch it as many times as you would like. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is a program called Expedia. Now, although it's in the same genre as Uber, which is another form of transportation, it is slightly different, and it's something I think it's worth talking about. Expedia is a platform that actually allows you to book travel trips. Now, Expedia is slightly different than other platforms because you can do packages of trips. You could book the flight, the hotel, the car service, the food, everything in one platform. You could also browse things to do, like attractions at certain places. So even if you aren't going on a trip, but you're curious, what's a fun thing to do in New York City today? Expedia will kind of give you those guidelines of new exhibitions or new sightseeing opportunities where you want to be. Now, I'll go to the next slide here. Okay. So like I said, Expedia is a popular website booking travel accommodations. It aims to provide the lowest prices for any booking, which is backed up with the best price guarantee. You could search for hotels, cars, flights, or packages based on your travel requirements and sort through accommodations that meet your needs. This is basically a replacement for a travel agent. This does it all for you, and it tells you the price of everything combined, meaning everything's done in one place for you, which makes it very, very convenient and easy to use. If you haven't used the program before, maybe you haven't even heard of it, we're going to show you today how to use it. And as you begin to use it more often, you will get the hang of it and it will become much easier for you. Just like we did with ride sharing, I just want to mention a few advantages to why you should use Expedia over other platforms, why we think that this is the best option for you, the same way we did for Uber. So Julia, go ahead.
Okay, so there are a couple of advantages to booking a traveling trip on Expedia. So the first thing is that Expedia saves you money. There's a package deal that you can book, which includes like your flights and your hotel, and a lot of the different expenses that you might have to pay for a trip. So Expedia allows you to do it all at once. Expedia is also super convenient. It saves you time because you're doing all of these different tasks at once on one website. Another advantage to Expedia is that it says that if you find a better price, they'll sort of price match it. So they will have like the best price and it will be the cheapest option for you when booking a trip. Another advantage to Expedia is that you can cancel your trip or any of those accommodations without having to worry that you're going to be charged some sort of fee for the cancellation. And then the last advantage is that Expedia offers you travel insurance. So if anything happens to you before, during, or after the trip, you don't have to worry about paying a cancellation fee as long as you get that travel insurance.
Okay, perfect. So hopefully we've convinced you a little bit that Expedia is a useful tool and one that we think you will benefit from. So the website for Expedia, as you might guess, expedia.com. You will go to this site in order to use the platform. I'll also mention, we're not going to go into this, but Expedia does have an app, just like Uber, that you could download on your smartphone or on your tablet or on any device that you use. So if you do prefer that form, go ahead. You're welcome to use that platform. In my opinion, although Uber is definitely perfect for the smartphone because you're doing it on the go, when you're booking a trip, it might be more beneficial to use a computer screen so you can really kind of see what you're purchasing, what the options are. It's a little bit of a bigger deal. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing this here, and I'm going to open up Expedia. I'm going to put into the search bar expedia.com. This is what the homepage for say looks like. Now, if this is your first time using Expedia, you might want to get an account. This is something on all websites. If you do use Amazon a lot, you need an Amazon account so that you can make purchases and have it save your billing and credit card information. The same thing on Expedia. So you'll see all the way at the top right is a button that says sign in. This is what you'll click on even if you want to create an account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the sign in, and you'll see if you do already have an account. So the second time you do this, once you've already created an account, go ahead and click on sign in and put in your information. The first time you're going to click on sign up, it's free. And that's exactly right. It's a free account. I'm going to put in my information. I'm going to click on continue. Okay. I will say once you put in your email address, it will say create an account. You could choose any password you would like to put in. This is the password that you should write it down. This is the password you'll be using anytime you use Expedia from now on. So I'm going to put in a password here. All right, I'm going to click on create account. Let's see what this is. Sorry, everyone, give me 1 second. It's weird. Seems like they're having a some sort of glitch in their system. Try one more thing, but we can go ahead without the account if we need to. Okay, sign up. This looks more sign up-y. Okay. All right, so you'll put in your information, your email. By the way, for those of you who just kind of missed what happened, you clicked on sign in, then I clicked on create a free account. And then it gave me this panel. It's asking for my first name, last name, email address, asking for me to create a password. All right, please send me Expedia email with travel details. I'm not going to check this. If you do want to receive, you know, those deals that they have or updates, go ahead and you can check that off. I'm going to click on create free account. It will ask you if you want to save the password, meaning that every time you go to this site, it will save the password for you, so you don't have to put it in each time. I'm going to hit not now for now. You know that you've successfully created an account when you see your name all the way at the top left, top right of the screen. Sorry, at the top right. That means that you've created an account. It has my name there. This is my account. I could do whatever I want with it. And now here's where we can start using the platform. So you'll see, if we look at the center of the screen, there are a few options here. There are stays, flights, cars, packages, things to do, and cruises. Depending on what you want to use this platform for, you want to explore these tabs. So stays, that means a hotel. So if you're interested in just using Expedia for the hotel option, you want to stay on stays. Flights, same thing. If you want to book a flight using Expedia, click on flights. Car service, do the same thing. Packages is where you could combine these and find the best deal. So if you want to use Expedia to book your stay, your flight, and your car, or one of the three, or two of the three, or three of the three, you could package them together to find a cheaper version of putting these all together. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to first stay on the stays tab, where I'm going to put in and try and find a hotel. So it says going to. This doesn't mean which hotel. This means the location, and it will find the best hotel for your accommodations. So I'll put in Miami in Florida, and it will ask me my check-in and check-out date. So I'm going to put in for check-in, I'll put in Wednesday of this week. And then for check-out, I'll put in the 30th. So I'll put in it's about a week in length, and I'll hit done. You'll see at the top right, it will ask you about your room accommodation. So how many people? Right now, the default is 2 adults. I could change that if I want. So I could put in, if I'm going with a family of 2 adults and 3 children, I could put in 2 adults, 2 adults and 3 children. It will ask me for the child's ages. It might ask just to accommodate that, you know, they're above 18 or something, or maybe to see that they're under 18 in order to be a child. So I'll just put these ages. You could add another room if you want to have multiple rooms, whatever it is. Let me just stick to the basics for now. So I'm going to have 2 adults here. Okay. Once I put in my information, you'll see how you could add a flight or add a car. This is when you start to get to the packages. But for now, I'm on the stays tab for hotels. I'm going to click on search. And it might take a second because it's basically trying to find the best deal for you that fits where you want to go, when you want to go, and how many people you have going with you. So you'll see that it's now listing hotels in Miami that have availability for the time that you're going. You'll see on the left side of the screen, who remembers, it says it at the top, so I won't ask you, but filtering a search is what we did on online shopping, where you can narrow down the search to find exactly what you're looking for. So you'll see that you could do the same thing here. If I really want an ocean view hotel with my breakfast included, I'm going to go ahead and check off both those options. And now it will show me ocean view hotels with breakfast included. And you'll see how, once again, it takes a couple seconds because it's trying to find the best for you. I really want a hotel that's between $200 and $300. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off. And you see how it's down to now 5 options. I'll go ahead and click on the Hilton Miami downtown. This is the hotel that not only is in Miami and has availability of the time that I want it, but is between the price range that I wanted. It has ocean view. It has breakfast included, meaning all that I checked off is included in this hotel because it kind of sorted it for me. You'll see how when you click on the hotel, there's tons of things you could check out. The rooms, I'm sure there are pictures of things you could look at, all the different options for rooms, a king bed, 2 queen beds, depending on what you want, the price. You'll see how you could look at the amenities, pool, free Wi-Fi, laundry, gym, etc. You can go through this to make sure before purchasing anything that this is what you're looking for. There's 85 pictures here for you to browse to make sure that this is what you're looking for. So you could definitely go through this and make sure that this is what you want before settling down. So I found, let's say this is the one I want, room 1 king bed, tells me the square feet, city view, all that stuff. I'm going to click on reserve. Actually, I said I wanted sea view, so let me go through with that, the ocean view. So I'm going to click on reserve here. And you'll see that it will basically add it to my cart for say, as you would do when you're doing online shopping. It will ask you to put in your information. It could ask you if you want insurance, like hotel booking protection. It will ask you to put in your card information and complete the booking. So it is very similar to online shopping in terms of you're purchasing something online and you're going through with it by putting it into your cart, etc. Let me go back here. And now I'm going to go to the packages tab and basically show you how you would do this if you want to purchase multiple things together. So I want to stay, I want a flight, and I want a car. I put all 3 in. So now you'll see it will ask me some more questions, obviously, because it wants to figure out some more information. But now we'll actually package things together and give me this at a reduced fee. And let's see how reduced we can get this price to be. So it starts the same way. Where am I leaving from? Now it's asking where am I leaving from because it's trying to organize a flight. So it has to know where I am. So I'm going to put in New York. You could select a specific airport if you want. I'll put in all airports for now. And for going to, I'll put in Miami again. When you're departing and when you're returning, so same thing. I'll put I'm leaving on on Tuesday, and I want to arrive there next week on Tuesday as well. So I'll click on done. It says at the top right how many rooms, how many travelers. I'll keep it to 1 room and 2 travelers. What class you want to fly: economy, premium economy, business class, first class. I'll keep it for economy for now, and I'll click on search. Now, before it starts to basically do the same thing as it did before, you're not done with the process, because you're not only looking for a hotel like we did last time, or only a flight like we did the other time, but it's going to give you some other questions, so that you could basically find the full package of everything that you're looking for. So it's loading. It might take a couple seconds. Just like I said, it's trying to find the best for you. So you'll see how the first thing it's giving me at the top of the screen is it has filled in my information for flights. Okay, so it looks like here, and it tracks it over here. I'll box this in red so you can see it clearly. Here's the process it's going to take you through. You're first choosing the stay, then you're doing the departing flight, then the returning flight, and then the car. All of which I selected when choosing my package, meaning if you didn't need a car service, you didn't need to check it off, and it will only show you the first 3 options. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click off my hotel. Let's check off this first one. That looks nice. I'm going to reserve a room here. I'll do the first one. Okay, now as soon as I checked off that room, now it's switched to choose departing flight. So it's going to my next stage, which is choosing the departing flight. I'll check off this first one. And the reason why it says $0, it's not actually $0, but this flight is what's they're including in the full trip fee, with the hotel, with the flights, with the car service. So you'll get the price at the end, but I'll check off the first one just so I have it. I'll hit select, and now will ask me for the returning flight, which you could click on the same thing. It tells you the times, which airport, etc., how long the flight is, more information. Click on select, and then the last thing is the car service it will ask me about, and this will be a car that is available for the time that I'm there. So that's why I put the dates that I will be there. It's giving me that specific time. So it's loading. There we go. There's let's say I want this mid-size $2 a day Toyota Corolla. I'm hitting on reserve. And now I've reached the end of my selections, and now we'll start to kind of pull everything together for me to show what the total price will be and what I've selected, and I could review. So you'll see that it shows on the right side of the screen before I could go through with the purchase and actually book the flight, what I've done. So I have a round trip flight, Newark to Miami, and how many tickets I have. It has the hotel, where it is, how many nights I booked it for, and it has the car service, which basically says the same thing. It gives me, oh, the car has AC, it has 4 doors, it can accommodate 5 people. It gives you all the information there as well. And then here's my total price, right? And this is for 2 adults. So this is $2,578 is the price for 2 adults, for 2 flights, for the Mondrian South Beach, which was an expensive hotel. I didn't mean to do that, and a car service. So basically, it gives you the full price for everything. You'll basically go down this list of things you want to do again. It might ask you some more questions, like who's driving, and it actually gives you the names that when you go to pick up your car, verify that it's in fact you. You could add insurance if you would like. Put in your payment, put in an email address. They could send you updates of when certain things change, or if there's a cancellation, or if there's information that you need to know. And then you'll click on complete booking. Once you click on complete booking, you'll receive emails, or you'll receive information with your plane tickets, with information on how to get your car, with your hotel ticket, or whatever it is that you need, meaning you don't need to worry about not getting the information because you're using a program like Expedia. Everything will come to you. Make sure that the email address that you put in is one that you have access to and one that you could check, so that you'll receive the confirmation. You'll see how it says here, please enter the email address where you would like to receive your confirmation. This is where you'll receive all the information. So overall, just like Uber, it is a pretty self-explanatory process where you're going to the site, you're selecting the options that you want. And remember, for everyone, it's different. It depends where you're going, how long you're staying at this location. Do you need a car service along with the other platforms? I would recommend, though, to use the packages selection on this website, because it does group things together and makes the process a little bit easier. So if you do want, if you're going somewhere that requires a flight and a hotel, as opposed to doing the flight somewhere else and maybe the hotel here, first kind of check out what they offer here in terms of putting everything together. Sometimes it might be cheaper, and it also might give you some better accommodations. So make sure to kind of go through the options before putting down your money. Expedia is a very user-friendly site. It does, like everything I say, takes time to get used to. And the last thing I'll just mention briefly is that things to do button, which, like I said, if you put in Miami, and you put in the date, so I'll put in from the 22nd to the 21st today to the 25th, and click on search, it will actually show me things to do. So attractions, it looks like there's a cultural food and walking tour, a thriller speedboat ride, adventure tour, Everglades tour, a ton of different options, prices. You can filter your search to find time. So if you want an early morning adventure, go ahead and click there. This is another way to use the site as a way to find things to do, not only when you're on vacation, but if you're at home and you want to find some fun thing to do today, put in where you are, put in New York or wherever it is that you're located, and you'll find some things. It will sort them for you, top 10 things to do, airborne tours, etc. So this is a great site for this department, and I recommend, if you haven't used it before, to definitely check it out. Okay. So the last thing we're going to look at today, and I think that this fits nicely into what we've been talking about, is a program called Google Maps. And this is a free online map service brought to you, obviously, by Google. It's accessible through your web browser, meaning through the internet, but it also does have a mobile app that you could download on your smartphone. You could use this to get step-by-step directions, find information about local businesses, and a whole lot more. So we are now going to look at how to access Google Maps, as well as what you could do on the platform. It is very user-friendly, something that I hope and I think you will all enjoy. Okay, Sophia, go ahead.
Okay. Just going over now, Google Maps. Sorry, Jordan, on your end, will you pull it up?
Yeah, sure. Sophia, you see this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the screen control. Or do I have it?
I think you have it.
Oh, I think I do have it. Okay, sweet. Sorry, everybody. So Jordan has gone ahead and pulled up the Google Maps website. This does come in the form of an app for your smartphone, but today we'll be going over the website on your laptop or your computer. So this is useful in terms of you yourself finding directions to go somewhere, whether that be in your town, you want to walk somewhere, or if you want to drive somewhere. This platform is useful for either or. So going ahead, let's say you want to go to, oh, sorry, Jordan, it's not letting me type, but if you go ahead and type somewhere.
Should be 1 second.
Yeah, so let's say you just want to look up how to get to Central Park from where you are. In this case, Google Maps will show you where it is in proximity to you. It will show you a quick picture just to sort of verify that this is the correct place you're talking about. And then from here, you can click directions, the blue button right there. So you can choose a starting point, whether that be your current location at the moment, or if you want to say maybe from a restaurant you're at or a school you're at, how to get to Central Park from there. So Jordan will go ahead and type in whichever starting point is useful. So let's just say he's trying to get directions from this Starbucks to Central Park. Google Maps will go ahead and show you the full route of this trip, how long an estimated trip would take by car in this case. And then you can even see things like the current traffic status for driving this route, or any obstacles that day, if there's any construction or anything. It will show you all of that information on the trip overview. Now, this right now is showing the route for the car, which is saying approximately a 20-minute drive. But over on the left side of the screen, you can see the metro option, biking, cars, or if you just want to walk. Jordan is now clicking on the walk, and so you can see how that time, the estimated timestamp has changed. Of course, it would take you longer to walk than to drive. So now it's updated this with new directions and a new time frame, so around 50 minutes in this case. Over on the left-hand side as well, you can see sort of step-by-step listed out the steps for your journey, rather than just the overview on the map. In this case, it's useful to have the instructions listed for you and a map of your route. Google's very thorough in that way of explaining every detail of your trip for you, so there's no room for doubt. Now, zooming in on just the map in general, there are many features. You can also see on the left-hand side now, Jordan has pulled up these steps, like I was saying. Sorry. And Jordan, now can we show them the satellite view?
Sure.
Okay, so on Google Map, there's another feature where you can see it in a more realistic layout. So Jordan's pointing right here in the lower left hand of the screen. He'll click layers and then take it to satellite. So like a satellite view where you can then see a more real-time, realistic overview of the map. So as you can see, it's changed now to where you can physically see the buildings, any landmarks or bodies of water in a more realistic setting, which is very cool. Google Maps has now had it to where you can zoom in very, very close and see like people walking around. You can see trees, cars, more detailed views of these buildings. It's sort of fun to just sit and sort of scroll around sometimes the city you're in, but you can see labels, you can see restaurants are labeled on this map, you can see streets are labeled on this map, anything to help you sort of orient to your direction. And of course, if you're putting in a route, it's useful to see in this perspective.
All right, thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
Sophia, you want to talk about the little man we could throw in?
Oh yeah, so a super cool feature of Google Maps is that not only from the bird's eye view can you see things, you can also take this little human in the lower right corner. You can see he's a yellow little guy, and you can actually drag him and plop him on the street with your mouse, wherever you want to see. And then from there, it'll update your screen to where it's like you're standing on the street. It's like you're there in real time, sort of looking around wherever you choose to drop that little guy onto the map. Once you're down sort of from this perspective, you can click arrows and drag yourself around to where it's like you're walking around there in person, which is pretty sweet. And another fun thing to do if you're ever bored, honestly, it's a very fun feature. It's crazy that now you can sort of be there virtually on the street level.
Isn't this awesome? Okay. Yeah, so Google Maps is really an awesome tool. I'm trying to think of ways that you would use this kind of close-up feature. Maybe you aren't sure what a building looks like and you want to make sure before you go that you're going into the right place, and you pull up an address. This is the white building, right, with the scaffolding that says plan. You could kind of pinpoint certain things that will help you know where you're going. But it's a very cool feature. I always in the satellite view because I think it's more realistic, and it just adds a nice feature that you can really see things in real life.
Yeah, and
But
also to answer Anthony's question, sorry, is can you use it to navigate hiking in city parks or things of that matter? I would advise you to just look up in the to bar, whichever park you want to look at. Odds are there will be routes for hiking and walking paths, but depending on where you're wanting to look, you can always just search it in and see what type of data they have for that specific location. But now there's so much on Google Maps that I bet you every place is covered. So yes, I think they would have hiking trails or walking path once you've selected the walking option.
yeah, exactly. And just like pretty much anything, give it a try. Put in where you want to go. If if it comes up, great. If not, Google hasn't reached that point yet. Also, as Sophia was explaining on the left side of the screen, you could very easily switch between different forms of transportation. Make sure you have the right one selected. So even though you're driving, it says 20 minutes. If you think you're walking, you will not get there in 20 minutes. So make sure that you're switching your form of transportation. You could add destinations if you have different stops you want to use. And also, you could definitely print out the directions if you want to have them as a hard copy. If you're going on some sort of trip, there's a little printer icon at the top left of the screen. Go ahead and click on that. So if you're going on some long road trip, you could definitely use that. And it doesn't have to be very close, right? We're now 20 minutes away. I could put in Florida to New York.
Yeah.
Now it's like, might take a little longer, but there's our 16-hour trip, and you kind of go through this, and you'll see how it even gives you a few different options. There's one that's 18 hours via a different highway you could look at. Go ahead and click on the one you want. We'll show you, like Sophia said, there's a crash here, there's construction here, there's traffic here. We'll give you all that information, and you could print the options as well, so you have it in the car with you.
Yeah, and Ruth has a good question in the chat. How about using it in Europe? I actually right now am in Europe. I'm in Copenhagen. So this is my go-to if of course, I'm not familiar with my surroundings in Copenhagen just yet. So to put in somewhere that I want to go on Google Maps, let's say there's a particular restaurant or something that I want to go to in Copenhagen, I can just type it into my search bar and see the walking route, and it'll tell me maybe it'll take 18 minutes to walk there or something of that nature, and it'll show me the route or maybe an alternate route. Google Maps is really my go-to, and just about for any country in the world, they have data to where you can navigate yourself.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So feel free to play around with this. This is an awesome tool, and I recommend, if you haven't used it before, check it out. Like I said, there is an app on your phone that you can download and you could use as well. I'm going to now go back to our home screen. Oh, so much mentioned about Waze. So Waze is a similar program to Google Maps. It's almost identical. People tend to use, I would say, Waze when they're inside a car and they want step-by-step directions, meaning turn left, turn right, and it speaks it out loud. Google Maps is also used for that same purpose. Google Maps is more for the at-home part. So everything we showed you today, zooming in on different streets, seeing actual buildings, being able to walk through certain streets, seeing different types of instructions for walking, driving, cycling, that's all only accessible on Maps. Waze is for car service only, and it's when you're in the car, you click on go, and it really guides you step by step. It senses your GPS, and it takes you from one location to another. Similar to Google Maps, definitely a program to check out as well, but you kind of want to find what works for you. I have both of them on my phone. I use both, depending on where I'm going and what the purpose of using the app is. Okay, so we definitely covered a lot of material today. It's 12:31, so I do just want to make a few announcements before we wrap up today. Today's class was recorded. We will be sending out a recording of today's class later today. You will receive the link to your email address. If you haven't been receiving emails from me, or you know someone who wants to be added to our email list, feel free to send me an email directly. I'll put in my email at the end of the screen today. You'll have that. Feel free to send me an email. Some upcoming classes. Our next class is on December 12th at 11:30 a.m. It's called Tech in the Workforce. This is, if I were to give you our top 3 most interesting lessons, I would put this maybe as number 2. So check this class out. We only taught this class once over the summer. This is an awesome class. So definitely check this one out. Another great class, wearable technology. If you don't know what that is, if you want to learn more about that, join us on January 9th at 11:30 a.m. for more information about that. You'll be receiving emails from us about upcoming classes as well. This is very, very important, and everyone here should do this today if they haven't done it yet. The reason why we aren't offering classes every single weekend as we normally did, but now we're offering monthly classes, is so you have the opportunity to take advantage of these classes on the screen. These are full 10-lesson courses. The classes that we're doing now are once a month topic based. That's how I like to put them. Entertainment, transportation, topics that we feel would be, interesting for you. Our computer basics and advanced computers classes take you from stage 1 all the way to knowing an infinite amount about technology. Our computer basics class starts, what is a computer? How to use the mouse and keyboard. Then it goes into how to use the internet, how to use email, what those programs are for, online shopping, using Zoom. Our advanced computers class are for those students that feel that they're ready to go on to the next level. Once you already know those basics, how to use online banking programs, how to use the internet and email on the next level, adding a signature, adding a vacation reply, setting emails and scheduling emails at a certain time, adding bookmarks to your internet. It's basically the next level up. Social media is covered in that class. For those of you who have not yet done this, please spend 10 minutes today. Go to this site, portal.mittlerseniortech.com, to purchase our full 10-lesson courses. Computer Basics is only $5 a class. For all 10, it's $50. For advanced computers, it's $7.50. For all 10, it's $75. If there's any problem with the price, or if you if you have any financial problem with the price, send me an email. I want everyone here. There's 34 people now on the chat. I want to see 34 new people on the portal site by the end of today. If you have not yet done this and you need some assistance or you have questions about it, I'm going to put my email up on the end of the screen. I am very reachable. Send me an email. Let me know about certain things that you want, or I need help getting set up with this class, or anything. Send me an email, and I'm going to put up my email right now. It's all the way at the bottom of the screen. It's just my name at mittlerseniortech.com. Send me an email with any questions. Here's the site, portal.mittlerseniortech.com. You are welcome to check out either computer basics or advanced. They are recorded classes that could be done at any time that is convenient for you. We spent a lot of time and effort into these classes, so definitely check them out. You could do them both. You could start with basics and go to advanced later. Any questions, feel free to send me some questions via my email. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for our recordings, our website, our WhatsApp chat for more information. Check these all out. I'm going to keep this on the screen until the end of class, so you can kind of keep this on the so you can write this all down or take a picture. I want to thank everyone so much for attending today's class. We hope you enjoyed and benefited from it. Thank you, Sophia and Julia. You guys were excellent. And I hope to see everyone soon. Please email me if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and see you all again soon. Bye-bye.